Hello, hi, welcome once again to M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well, let's learn English together. And welcome to the studio, people. How are you all? How is everyone today? Is this a good day or a bad day? Well, we'll see, won't we? But come on, this can only be a good day, can't it? I mean, I know that the weekend's over and today, Monday, we're back to the start of the standard working week. But this is Monday. A fresh week has just begun. And who knows what week this is? Anyone? What's the number of this week? Which week is this? Who's counting? Yes, that's right. It's a bit of another milestone, isn't it? Yes, it damn well is. Starting today, this Monday, we're entering our 70th week. Yeah! What do you think of that?
That's amazing.
That's great news.
Great.
Good.
Great. That's right. Ron, Alan, Pat and Matt. And it is amazing. Great, good, great news, isn't it? Yes, people, we've been learning English together for 69 weeks now. And now this week is the 70th week. And what does that mean? Yes, this week ends in a naught, doesn't it? Yes. Which means that this week is divisible by 5 with no remainder, which means that this is another mini revision week. Yes, as you all know, every 5 weeks we take a week to look back at some of the things we learnt in the previous 4 weeks. And once again, that time has come. So, hang on to your hats because it's time to have another look at the last few weeks. So, first things first, let's all have a butcher's at the vocabulary I'm talking about. Oh, but hang on, there's another word that we've seen before, but I don't think we ever talked about it. Butchers. Now, we all know what a butcher is, don't we? Yes. When we're talking about butchers, then we know that we're talking about meat, don't we? Yes. Now, think about meat. Yes, that's meat. It's all red meat, I know. But we also know what white meat looks like too, don't we? Of course. White meat is things like poultry, chicken and turkey, and also pork and fish. All of these count as white meat. Okay, but here's the question. How do we get meat? Yes, that's right. We have to kill an animal to get meat, don't we? Yes. And when we talk about killing animals, then we normally use a different verb. We don't usually say that we kill an animal, especially if we're killing that animal for food. The verb we normally use is the verb to slaughter. Now, this is an okay word to use with animals. It's the normal verb that we use when we're talking about killing animals for food. And the other words connected to the idea of killing animals for food also have obvious connections to this verb. The place where animals are killed is an abattoir to the British, or alternatively, a slaughterhouse. The person who does the job is a slaughterman. Now, we sometimes hear the verb slaughter used with animals in a slightly different way. Sometimes we also hear the verb being used to talk about killing people. In cases like these, if we're using the verb to slaughter with animals but not for food, or with people, with humans, it's slightly different. In that case, if I, for example, talk about slaughtering people, then the idea is that these people were killed or are being killed in a horrible way, normally in large numbers. We often hear on the news about unarmed civilians being slaughtered in countries where there's a war taking place, for example. So, the basic rule is this: use slaughter when we're talking about animals being killed for food. That's it. If slaughter is used to talk about other things, like killing people or killing animals in large numbers, but not for food, then it's not a very positive verb. Still, I suppose that if we ask the sheep, cows, goats, chickens, and other animals how they feel about it, they've probably got a different opinion anyway. All right, so we need to get back to the butcher. Now, as we've just learned, the man who kills the animals is the slaughterman. That man who works in the abattoir, he's the slaughterman. Now, in the abattoir, the animals are killed and their bodies are cut into pieces, big pieces. And then the meat is ready to go to the butcher. And did you notice that change? When the animal dies, it becomes meat. It's a cow, and then when the slaughterman kills the cow, then it becomes beef. A sheep becomes mutton, and so on, like this. Calf, veal. Cow, beef. Lamb, lamb. Sheep, mutton. Pig, pork. Pig, bacon. Chicken, chicken. Turkey, turkey. Goose, goose. Duck, duck. Now, can you see anything strange about that list? Yes, that's right. Most of the names of the meat we get from animals are different from the names we use for the animals, but some of them are the same. We get lamb from a lamb. We get chicken from chickens, duck from ducks, goose from geese, and turkey from turkeys. Also, pigs provide us with two types of meat. They give us pork, and they also give us bacon. Now, I don't really understand this, but I had a look in my cookery book. It's a pretty old book. It's from 1966. But have a look at the bit which talks about pigs. So, I'm slightly confused, but that's okay. Now, where were we? Yes, the butcher. The slaughterman, or men, cut the meat into big pieces, and this meat is then delivered to the butcher. The butcher also cuts meat, but the butcher's work is more precise. The butcher takes a big piece of meat and cuts it into different cuts of meat. So, for example, he takes a big piece of dead cow and cuts it into different steaks or some other cuts of meat. That's the difference. The slaughterman kills or slaughters the animals and then cuts them into big pieces. And then the big pieces of meat go to the butchers. Then the butcher cuts the big pieces of meat into smaller pieces. Pieces which we buy, take home and cook and eat. The butcher is the man you ask about meat. You don't meet the slaughterman. You get your meat from the butcher, from the butcher's shop, not from the slaughterman, not from the abattoir. And so, now, finally, we get to the vocabulary. What did I say at the start of the lesson? Yes, that's right. I said, let's have a butcher's. And what does it mean? It's slang. It means let's have a look. Butcher's is rhyming slang for butcher's hook, and hook rhymes with look. It's too long to say let's have a butcher's hook, so the British abbreviate the phrase. We remove the only logical rhyming part, and so butcher's becomes a slang synonym for look. Let's have a butcher's. Give me a butcher's. That's all it means. It's short for butcher's hook, and it means a look. That's all. Nothing more. So, now that we know that, let's have a butcher's at something else. Well, let's think. Christmas is coming, but it's probably a better idea for us to look at some of the vocabulary that I wanted us to look at. And then, tomorrow, we can start the English Christmas extravaganza properly with a Christmas song. What do you say? Now, one thing we need to look at is the word misleading. This word means that something has made you think the wrong thing. If we look at the verb to mislead, that verb means to give someone the wrong information so that they believe something which is wrong. Perhaps this is done deliberately. I know what I'm doing and I know that I am giving you false information. But perhaps I'm misleading you by accident. My information is wrong, but I don't know that my information is wrong. Now, the interesting thing about the verb to mislead and the adjective misleading is the fact that we make the word using a prefix. Do you remember what a prefix is? We learned about prefixes a long time ago. A prefix is something we place before another word. Something we put in front of another word to alter, change or modify its meaning. Ages ago, we looked at the prefix anti. This prefix anti means against, and so if we put the prefix anti in front of another word, if we attach it to the front of another word, then we can change, we can alter, we can modify the meaning of the word. We have medicines, for example, which are anti-malarial medicines. These medicines work against malaria. We also have antibiotics, antiseptic, and anti-inflammatory. All of these things are used by doctors. They use antibiotics to fight infections. If something is antiseptic, it's free of disease. And if your doctor gives you an anti-inflammatory cream, it's a cream which works against inflammation. Inflammation is when part of your body becomes hot, red and swollen. When part of your body becomes bigger than usual, bigger than normal. And in the same way, the prefix mis is put at the front of a word to mean wrongly. Misdiagnose, for example. The doctor gets it wrong. He says that you've got a swollen knee, but you've got a broken nose. The doctor misdiagnosed your problem. Mismanage. The company director spends all the company's money at the casino. He mismanaged the money. He used the company's money badly. And misleading. Information which is misleading leads you in the wrong direction. It gives you the wrong idea. The geese are getting fat, but it's not because they're eating more pizza than usual. It's because the farmer is fattening them up. And that's all the time we've got for you today. Yes, it's true. Our time is up. It's time for us to turn the camera off, turn the microphone off, turn the lights off, and close the studio. I'm off home to have another coffee, but I'll be back almost before you have time to notice. I'll be back on your screens tomorrow afternoon. So, have a wonderful evening, get a wonderful night's sleep, and then tomorrow, when the sun rises, you can awaken, refreshed, have some fine tasting coffee, and then, well, after that, you can do what you want to. And then, in the afternoon, we'll meet again, here. Me on this side and you on that side. So, until tomorrow, have fun, have fun, have fun, and enjoy yourselves. I'll see you all tomorrow afternoon. And remember, if you need some more English, you all know where to go to, don't you? That's right. Head over to the site with the 2 Ks. Well, okay, the site with the 3 Ks, and quite a few other letters too, if we're being pedantic. You know the scene. www.mediaclick.hu. See you all tomorrow. See you later. Bye.